Coming up on WJTV 12, we'll give you a look at some of the things happening today, like the Mississippi Wildlife Extravaganza. Plus, we have the latest on the Jackson Zoo funding problems. And the home of a civil rights icon is now a national landmark, what state leaders had to say.
And temperatures right now at the top of the hour across our viewing area. We're in the upper 60s to low 70s to start the day. Pretty warm start to the day. 69 right now in Jackson, 71 in Yazoo City and Vicksburg, and farther down to the southwest in Natchez. We have partly cloudy skies out there. This will give way to better rain coverage of afternoon showers and storms today, thanks to a lot of moisture coming off the Gulf, thanks to a south breeze. We'll talk more about that. Have your 8-day forecast coming up in about 10 minutes.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Katie Rowe. Let's go ahead and get a check of how traffic is looking this morning. Now, this is a look at I-55 north at Lakeland Drive. There's some cars out on the road on this Saturday morning, but things are looking pretty smoothly. We'll be sure to let you know if anything pops up. Well, dozens of acts will take the stage at Smith-Wills Stadium tonight for Jackson's Old School Festival. Well, that was Jackson native band 601 Live. They'll be one of the many acts performing tonight. Other performers include Frankie, Beverly, and Maze. The doors open at 4:30 and the show starts at 6. Hunting season has officially began in Mississippi. The Mississippi Wildlife Federation wants you to get ready with the annual Wildlife Extravaganza. 200 vendors are showing off the latest in outdoor gear at the Mississippi Trade Mart. There are some activities for the kids as well. They can enjoy archery and pellet shooting, catfishing, and the state's largest big buck contest. We asked one person why he keeps coming back.
Is running into friends, people that I know in Jackson all my life. And then we're all here for a common reason: outdoors, sports, hunting, fishing, all the above.
And the show continues tomorrow. St. Philip's Episcopal Church is hosting their 15th annual Rummage sale. Some of the items for sale include furniture, household items, electronics, and more. The church is located on Old Canton Road. The event starts in about an hour. Fleet Sports is holding their back-to-school bash. It starts this morning at 9. The children-friendly event has obstacle courses, challenges, games, prizes, and more. They will also have free shoe fittings and discounts on their shoes at the store. It's free, but they do encourage you to donate at least one school supply item for local charities. Beaverbrook Drive is a heavily traveled road. It connects Hanging Moss to Watkins Drive. As WJTV 12's Margaret Ann Carter reports, it's home to a sinkhole that many are now using as a dumping ground.
Tell them I said, get out here and fix this hole.
The Beaverbrook Drive sinkhole is where dreams of a freshly paved road come to die.
This is the worst pothole I ever seen. Right? This is not a pothole. It's a sinkhole, just like she said. It's not a pothole. Did you take a picture of the depth of that thing? You could bury a body in there.
People who drive this road say the hole has been there for at least 6 months.
I mean, I've spent $1,300 on this front end on this truck within the last 4 months. $1,300. The wheel just fell off on my parking lot down there. Glory. Thank God I wasn't on the road.
Neighbors say they first put this stick in here to warn drivers when this was just a pothole, but over time it's grown into a sinkhole, and now the stick's not the only thing in there. And people started throwing trash in there now.
Well, hey, maybe they're going to fill it up with trash.
The discarded trash and busted tires filling up this crater resemble the defeat neighbors feel in trying to get the road repaired.
But this hole has been here so long, and it's dangerous. I know they got a lot of kids around here, because my girlfriend, she got a lot of grandkids. And if they ever come down through here, they would be curious to know what's down in that hole. And then probably snakes and everything down there.
But even out-of-towners are noticing the damage.
Come on, Mississippi, y'all can do better than that.
Reporting in Jackson, Margaret Ann Carter, WJTV 12.
Now, if you have a pothole causing problems in your area, remember you can visit our website. That's WJTV.com. Your story could end up on our Pothole of the Week segment. Jackson Zoo officials have placed Executive Director Beth Poff on administrative leave, but there's still no direction for the future of the zoo. With many questions left unanswered, WJTV 12's Gerald Harris spoke with zoo leaders to get those answers.
Zoo has faced declining revenue and attendance, prompting a financial crisis.
We have to relook at how those assets are being managed.
The city's chief administrative officer says the mayor's office is working on a solution to address the zoo's problems and working to ensure it stays put where it is.
We're actually excited about the opportunity to take some time and rethink the ways that our zoo is being used and really to build a zoo for the future.
Councilman Stamps has been one of the zoo's biggest supporters and said talks of moving it only complicates the issue and leaves Jackson behind.
The whole moving the zoo to the Fluids Bluffs just may not be the real truth.
The real truth, according to the councilman, is the zoo is being forced to fail.
There may be other things going on behind the scenes where our zoo is being put in a position to fail and close, and others are looking to open their own zoo.
Stamp said that although the area of the zoo isn't the best right now, losing it will mean there's nothing to build on in West Jackson.
The zoo's been there for 100 years. That community has gone up and down, round and round over the last 100 years. It may be in a period of decline now, but it will not be rebirthed. It will not be reformed without an asset in this area.
In Jackson, Gerald Harris, WJTV 12.
All right, and as always, we will keep you updated as more develops. The missing Hinds County man has been located. 25-year-old Darius Taylor went missing Monday morning. He was found Friday morning after knocking on a woman's door. Hinds County Sheriff Victor Mason says he's glad Taylor is safe.
I guess she talked him, just talked conversation. And I don't know if he was just worn out, tired or what, but I'm grateful to her. You know, and that's the reason we tell people, get involved. We can solve a lot of problems if you just get involved.
Sheriff Mason thanks multiple different agencies for Taylor's safe return. The Clinton Fire Department is hosting a search and rescue class to help people learn what to do in emergencies. The hands-on event includes training to help in all sorts of disasters, from storms to man-made disasters.
The better prepared the citizens are, the better prepared our community is for disaster. It could be a hurricane, as in Katrina. We didn't expect to affect Clinton, and it did. We've also had a tornado, which hit Clinton pretty hard. And there was parts of Clinton that went for a little while without any emergency response, just because we were tied up. And so they need to be able to react to just make our community safer, not only for them, but for their neighbors.
The class continues this morning at 9, and it is filled to capacity. Terry High School hosted an active shooter drill on Friday. The drill was supervised by the Hinds County Sheriff's Department. The scene included a fake bomb and shooters. We spoke with the Terry High School principal about the drill.
They went well. Our teachers did a really good job of handling the policies and procedures that are set forth in our district handbook. The students did a wonderful job. We had about 150 students who participated in the drill today. We took them from actually entering them into school to the active shooter drill into taking them to a reunification site for their parents to come pick them up. So we had a complete start to finish issue.
The drill only lasted about an hour and a half. Law enforcement officials say everything went pretty smoothly. The home of Mississippi civil rights icon Medgar and Murley Evers now has national recognition from the African American Civil Rights Network. The Evers family was joined by Governor Phil Bryant and other state leaders to help commemorate the event. In 2016, the home became a Jackson Historic Landmark. U.S. Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zinke officially signed the paperwork, making the home a national landmark. Governor Bryant said this is a way for all of Mississippi to honor Evers and his family.
Going to see an elevation of the home to a designation of a national monument. I hope there'll be investment, so we would have to enlarge the area that would be around there to contain the thousands of people that will be there. Our Civil Rights Museum and History Museum has had over 200,000 people visit it since the 9th of December. This is what we're hoping for. It will be on that national level.
Tougaloo College will no longer run the home. Secretary Zinke says the home will become a U.S. national monument in 30 days. All right, Griffin, what's it look like outside?
Right now, it looks kind of quiet out there. We just have partly cloudy skies, but later this afternoon, we'll have good coverage of showers and thunderstorms. And here's how temperatures are going to shake up. We're going to start off in the 70s and the heat back up into the low 90s today, which is right at average for this time of year. High temperature of 91 in Jackson. We'll talk more about your complete 8-day forecast coming up after the break. You got that little brick thing there?
It's like, this chair is so high up that if I don't get on the chair, I look like a door. Like, it comes up to my...
You're doing fantastic. Really. Seriously, though, it was seamless.
Thank you.
Wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it.
Huh?
Wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That looks good. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Things are starting off pretty quiet in the weather department early this morning. Right now in Jackson, it's 69 degrees with a dew point of 69, so the air is essentially saturated, and it's not really enough to produce any fog, but if you're driving out there, your windshield will more than likely have some condensation on it. It's one of those times where you have to just keep running the windshield wipers over and over as you head out the door, and it's not really we're not really seeing any fog as a result, though. It's just partly cloudy out there on satellite and radar. A couple of showers forming along the Mississippi Gulf Coast as we have some deeper moisture that's coming in from the Gulf thanks to this strong surface high. This is the Bermuda high. It's a typical feature of this time of year that kind of situates itself over the western Atlantic. That's really the only big weather feature that's currently influencing our weather at this point. And with that southerly flow, we have a lot of moisture in place across the south, so we're starting off pretty warm with temperatures in the upper 70s along the coast. 78 right now in New Orleans, 77 in Destin, and then off to the west, still seeing some 70s in parts of Louisiana and Texas. So with that predominantly southerly flow, we'll see increasing heat and humidity, unfortunately, because as you all know, a lot of that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico is tropical, to say the least, and that'll give way to scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. I think that good rain coverage should help cool things off, but heat indices today will be topping out in the low triple digits, I think. So it'll be kind of hot before those storms get here. That surface high will just be kind of meandering over the next 48 hours, and we'll still see more of that southerly flow and that humid air coming off the Gulf. And that'll give us decent chances of afternoon showers and storms today, but tomorrow that pattern will be kind of shifting and will be kind of drier as we go into tomorrow and I think for the first half of the week. So here's how the rest of the day is going to play out. We'll have partly cloudy skies for the first half of the day. By lunchtime, I think we'll be okay, but then by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you can see how the general trend is favoring more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms that are typical of the summertime in the afternoon. You know how these go. By 7:30, they'll still be kind of hanging around all over the place. By 9 o'clock, still there, but then fortunately, I think by 11 o'clock later tonight, if you do have plans to go out, I think we'll be drying out and just be seeing mostly cloudy skies by 11 o'clock later tonight. So highs today will be cooler thanks to that good rain coverage, upper 80s to low 90s. That's a tad bit below average. The average high in Jackson is 92 for today. Morning lows by tomorrow will be in the low 70s. Another warm start to the day tomorrow with partly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Here's your 3-day forecast. Rain chances dropping for Sunday and Monday to just 20%. Just partly cloudy during the afternoon. It'll be a bit hotter Monday and Tuesday as we get up to 93 for the forecast high Monday and Tuesday. The second half of the week looks especially wet, especially going into next weekend. We'll have a front that tries to pass through here, but I think it'll kind of stall out. That's going to give us just days and days of consistent rain, kind of like what they saw last week on the East Coast, which is rain that just never stopped. But it's not to sound too ominous, but, you know, it'll be just kind of a rainy next weekend.
You know, you said two things in your forecast that I did not like.
What's that?
Heat and rain.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to the upcoming week.
I know. We're so sick of the humidity, but it's August. It's just how it goes here, unfortunately. Yep.
Got to get used to it.
Yeah, you do.
All right, well, thanks so much, Griffin. Next on WJTV this morning, the 12-year-old girl at the center of a nationwide search has been found. We'll tell you where authorities located her when we come back. All right, well, thanks for sticking with us. The 12-year-old girl at the center of a nationwide search has been found safe and sound. As Molalangi reports, the girl was found in New York after being reported missing in Washington.
This is not an abduction case. This is not a kidnapping case. Again, this is a misunderstanding.
Lawyers for the parents of 12-year-old Jinjing Ma are downplaying the multi-state hysteria over the girl's disappearance. She was reported missing in Virginia Thursday and wound up reunited with her parents in Queens, New York on Friday.
The child has been released in the parents' custody. She's safe. She's fine. She was not endangered in any way.
For the past 2 years, Jinjing has been living with her grandfather in China while her parents were in the U.S. She traveled here as part of a tour group, but parted ways at the airport. An Amber Alert was triggered here at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, and surveillance images show what happened next. Police say the girl excused herself from the group to use the restroom where she changed clothes. Jinjing is seen leaving the airport with a woman and getting into an SUV with New York plates being driven by a man. Lawyers say Jinjing's parents brought her to New York, but wouldn't say if their reunion was planned in advance.
We don't know that. We know that the first opportunity for them to see each other was now 2 years later.
Currently, there are no charges filed against the parents, but the FBI is still investigating the matter. Molalangi, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
The girl was also approached by a couple when her group was visiting the World Trade Center earlier in the week. Let's get another look at how the roadways look. Here's how traffic is on I-20 west at Ellis Avenue. As you can see, things are still running pretty smoothly as the sun starts to come up and people start heading out on this Saturday. Griffin, what's it feel like outside?
Feels kind of humid. Winds are out of the south right now, and that means a lot of moisture is coming off the Gulf. And for this afternoon, it'll just be kind of a typical August day with highs close to average this time of year, 91 in Jackson. Upper 80s along the coast thanks to early morning showers and storms. The rain really won't get here until this afternoon, and that's part of the reason why that's going to help cool things off. Before the storms get here, we'll be kind of hot in the low 90s, but locally, those storms will help cool us off. And then those 90s extend all the way up into the Midwest, 95 near places like St. Louis and Chicago this afternoon. Again, increasing heat and humidity for the next couple of days. We'll see highs peak on Monday and Tuesday at 93. The scattered showers and thunderstorms will be back again this afternoon, and then kind of tapering off after sunset, and heat indices over the next couple of days will be topping out in the low triple digits. So here's your 3-day forecast. Rain chances dropping for Sunday and Monday down to just 20%. Then the second half of the week comes around, and then it looks pretty wet. We have more than likely a stationary front that's going to come through here and really give us solid rain chances Thursday all the way through Saturday. So the weekend does look pretty wet. Katie, back to you.
Ben, thank you so much. Investigators say they are closing the investigation into the Las Vegas shooting. What they're saying about a motive when we come back. The commission set up by President Trump to investigate claims of election tampering says they found evidence it never occurred. That's according to a former member of the panel, Maine Secretary of State Matthew Dunlap. He made those statements in letters written to leaders in the committee and the country. The president claimed millions of people voted illegally for Hillary Clinton in the election, which, according to him, is why he lost the popular vote. The committee was dissolved in January. Investigators looking into the Las Vegas shooting last year have officially closed the case. No one else will be charged in connection to the shooting. Investigators say the suspect, Stephen Paddock, had a troubled mind leading up to the shooting. However, they say there is still no clear answers as to why the deadly shooting happened. A federal judge says the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, should be brought back. Federal Judge John Bates says the Trump administration has not provided a clear reason to cancel the program. The ruling comes as a related case continues in Texas. The Trump administration has 20 days to appeal. Well, singer Justin Timberlake is getting ready to make his mark into game shows. According to Variety Fox, he plans on ordering a show produced and created by Timberlake. The show is called Spin the Wheel. Contestants would spin a massive wheel in order to win cash prizes. They will also answer trivia questions with incorrect answers, probably losing the potential winnings. No word on when the show will air, but I will make sure to check. I love Justin Timberlake. Women from over 19 countries participated in the Women on Wings project over the skies of Ukraine. Their goal was to set a world skydiving record with 57 women jumping at once. The group changed their formation 3 times during the 90-second free fall, which is also a world record. The previous record was set in the Netherlands with 56 women taking part. All right, let's turn things over to meteorologist Griffon Hardy.
Okay, high temperatures today will be in the upper 80s to low 90s, which will be a tad bit below average for this time of year. And the reason for that is we'll have afternoon showers and storms, and that will help cool things off. And they'll be moving from south to north initially, and that's why our northern counties, places like Yazoo City and Kosciuszko and Belzona, will be a tad bit hotter with highs in the low 90s. Then overnight lows tonight will be in the low 70s by tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy skies overnight tonight with those afternoon showers and storms fading away, I think, after like 10 o'clock later this evening. Then Sunday and Monday, tomorrow and Monday, we'll have rain chances that drop to just 20%, and then we heat up to 93 for a forecast high by Tuesday. It will be more humid this week. We have winds out of the south, so that means the heat index will get up to around 100 degrees for the next few days. We got to prepare for that and stay hydrated.
Yeah, those triple digits.
I know.
Having that water bottle on you.
You got to have the water. Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah. Make sure to stay safe in this hot weather.
Hot. Yeah,
yes.
Mississippi hot, really.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Griffin. Well, you can always visit us on WJTV.com and on our Facebook and Twitter pages for more news and weather updates. WJTV This Morning at 6:30 starts in 2.5 minutes. Stay with us.